Issues. We apologise for the drop in frame rate. We want to make sure we have maximum frame rates. Casper's going side by side with Onyx. Epic Gamer came out ahead of his teammate, nice and secure there, kept it safe and ahead of his rival there, and he's not been caught, so he's comfortably in the lead of this Grand Prix as things currently stand. We are back live, so apologies for that. We should have maximum frame rates. For some reason, let me just double check. I have no clue why it keeps on dropping. Let me just double check, put it up. There we go. We should have back to good old high frame rate. So apologies for that. That's why the stream has been reset up. We are now back live. Deagle Killer has picked up a time penalty, so we're back into HD quality. Lovely. That's what we like to see. Deagle Killer's picked up a time penalty. So too Epic Gamer picked up one earlier on in this Grand Prix. Epic Gamer's overcut hasn't worked, and he's actually been pulled away from by Epic Gamer as things currently stand. Francis is gaining onto Deagle Killer here, so this could be a little bit of retribution. Deagle Killer Francis could maybe feel he was a little bit hard done by with them being swamped, and on the fact that he was defending so bravely, and it was a bit of a late and lunge move where Tim Palm and Mint Leclerc were all involved, but Francis really showing some pace here, and he's got a point to prove at the moment. You've got the championship leader. Floris is DNF'd from this Grand Prix. We'll see if we can. There it is, Floris heading down. You can just get a clip here. We'll get the pit mat on the right hand side. You see him there, so he's obviously crashed it coming through that section of corners, and it's a difficult one. I wouldn't say it's too difficult, but he's obviously put too much power, too much wheel spin on board with Casper and Onyx now. Casper's been behind the Force India for quite a significant amount of time. 3-second time penalty for the Force India. Here comes Casper, slipstream, and moves up to the left hand side. He'll go to the outside, then inside, and once again to the outside, so not the ideal line. If he can hung it round there though, almost goes into the side of the Force India. Deagle Killer and Francis battling it out at the moment, keeping it clean. Who's going to come out on top in this battle? We've got a long way to go. Lap 8 of 22, of course. If you are watching along live, let us know who you think is going to come out on top. You've got Epic Gamer, Deagle Killer and Francis, but championship leader Deagle Killer not having it all his own way at the moment. Epic Gamer has pulled away slightly, and Francis is keeping him keen. Best Bob is in between Francis and Tim Palm, Tim Palm's undercut has really not worked. He's being held up by the Mercedes of Best Bob at the moment, who's doing a good old job to be up into P7. If there is a safety car, he's in a good position to get some points, and his first points of the season. Biggest losers in this race so far have been Pitmac, Cliffy and Leclerc, who for some unknown reason had dropped back so dramatically. Must have been involved in the incident. For Leclerc, we do know he was here tapped by Tim Palm, which we'd imagine will get taken to the stewards because it was a bit of a shunt. And that is a bit of a shame for him, because he was showing some great pace and was involved in some good squabbles earlier on. Tim Palm is gaining onto Best Bob. He's running to the back of Best Bob. He's ran into the back of Best Bob. He's now being clipped by the McLaren. He's now hit the McLaren, and Tim Palm has left the session. So interesting to see what's happened to Tim Palm. Did he disconnect there and wasn't in control for a podium? He's now going to be overtaken by Cherry 2Pie and the gang behind him. Tim Palm, it looks like, is just ghosting now, so he's out of this Grand Prix. And Marquise is now going to overtake him as well. So Cherry 2Pie up into 9th, Expert up into 10th. That's your new points ranking, guys, at the moment. Casper leads his Grand Prix from Onyx at the moment, who has been battling. I think Casper's just got past him. We'll try our best to hear from Tim Palm and what happened there. It didn't look too friendly. It looked like he's just outbroke himself. Maybe expected Best Bob to break a little bit later, but Best Bob is on much older tyres. Apex has been overtaken by these two guys ahead of him, Deagle Killer and Francis. Deagle Killer is really being hunted down by Francis. Francis doing a very good job. He's now, speaking of which, he's now got himself a 3-second time penalty. So that's it's not ideal from Francis as he looks to hunt down Deagle Killer ahead of him. Lap 9 of 22, a couple of laps away from the halfway mark. Epic Gamer picked up another time penalty, but a lot of the guys are picking them up at this stage, so we could have ourselves a battle which is dictated by time penalties for this race victory. But down yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. Is that Epic Gamer? No, this is a cascade of cars. Onyx and Casper, it seemed. Anyone else actually? Because there was, oh blimey, there is a real close battle going on. It's Cherry Tupai, Marquise and Expert all very tight on track. Are we going to get 3 abreast potentially heading up Eau Rouge if they all keep this tight at the moment? Look how close all of them are. Expert and Cherry Tupai going side by side. Who's going to come out on top? We're right on board with Marquise, who's going to get the best clear view of this battle. Ahead you can see a few guys which are Mark and Best Bob, which could bunch them all up. Expert's going up the inside. In comes the switchback from the Williams. Cherry Tupai for some reason took an incredibly wide line to get a better exit out of heading up into Radion and Eau Rouge, but Marquise now is going to get the slipstream. We're going to get 3 abreast here. Cherry Tupai backs out of it. Marquise thinks better of it, and Mark's now crushed out. You can see on the right hand side of the track there, Marquise has pulled over. There's yellow flags, there's carbon fibre all over the place, and there is a virtual safety car. So Mark has crashed into the wall. Best Bob, I'm not sure if he was involved in that. I don't think so. It looks like Mark's just pushed it a little bit too much, and that is his Grand Prix over, and that's a yellow flag, and that's a virtual safety car, and Cherry Tupai is going to be absolutely furious because he's now lost out on positions here purely because of the virtual safety car. That is not ideal. So, lap 10 of 22, virtual safety car is out after Mark has crashed heading up into Eau Rouge, and we've got Expert, Marquise and Cherry Tupai who are looking to rebuild their battle. They started earlier on. Cherry Tupai is very, very keen to get past the Williams of Marquise at the moment. Let's see when the virtual safety car is going to come in. We'll keep an eye on that top left-hand corner to see who's going to be the man to take advantage here. You can look on the dashboard if you want. DRS is now enabled, which means his virtual safety car has ended. Marquise looks to be the one who has got the sharpest of the restarts all over the rear end of the Renault. Heading down now into this long section of Blanchimont of turns 17 and 18, the high speed with slipstream available, going into the bus stop chicanes of turn 19 and 20. You've got yourself an overtaking opportunity. Marquise is getting excited and looking eager. Expert's going to have to defend his very best. Looking behind, Cherry Tupai might want to get involved in this battle as well. They're going to go side by side. The Williams going to try and hang it around the outside, which will turn to the inside, who's going to be trying to hold out as long as possible on these medium compound tyres. Will have to pit though, of course, once again, because he has yet to make a pit stop. Same goes for Casper and Onyx as things currently stand. Heading up into Eau Rouge, no virtual safety cars will happen this time. Marquise looks to be the one who has a better exit once again compared to Cherry Tupai and Expert. He's on the fresh, he's on the oldest compound of tyres of the 3. Here comes Expert defending the inside line. Marquise is going to have a better run. Cherry Tupai is going to get a lovely viewing. Marquise gets the manoeuvre done. Best Bob's just ahead. Cherry Tupai looks to have outbroke himself, but he's held it. That might just hinder his momentum slightly, but he looks to have hung on quite well there, and you can see Best Bob is coming up ahead of them. So this is going to be interesting because that Mercedes is battling for track position as things currently stand. It is Casper who leads from Epic Gamer and Onyx. Epic Gamer has got in between the two of them, but Epic Gamer has a net lead in this Grand Prix. Francis has got past the Eagle Killer while all that was going on, so Francis has really got that play, really got going there and got the place. Great racing from him. We apologise for missing that, but Francis has got the place done. There was some great battling through the midfield we had to jump on, but I think the Eagle Killer could be looking keen to get a manoeuvre done here. Riding on board with him, he's not going to be happy. Yellow flags in sector 2. Best Bob's crashed out. Where's Best Bob crashed out? We'll go on board with Leclerc, see if he can see. I'm not sure if there was contact. We'll look left and right to see if we can see where he's gone off. There he is. He's completely lost it on the middle of the track. Best Bob out of this Grand Prix as well now. Cherry Tupai is under fire from Expert, who's been overtaken by Cherry Tupai has overtaken Expert, so there must have been an incident or contact between the two of them. Expert now and Cherry Tupai are going to battle. Is that Renault going to look for a manoeuvre? The Deagle Killer is hunting down Francis, so we'll keep an eye on him. In fact, yeah, looks like Epic Gamer's probably going to get the run on Casper, and this is for the race victory, or race lead, I should say. Let's see if Casper gets overtaken by Epic Gamer. Yellow flags in sector 1. I don't see any times dropping too dramatically. Could just be slow moving cars. Epic Gamer is moving past and he's got the place done. Onyx has made a mistake. That's why he's dropping back. I don't think he has a puncture. He's just dropping back. Deagle Killer now onto Francis. All getting very hectic here. Just over the halfway mark. Can Deagle keep this momentum going and maybe go for a manoeuvre heading into turn 10, the downhill hairpin style corner? Let's see if he can get anything done through this middle sector for one more run. But Epic Gamer is ahead of this Grand Prix. He's just over 7 seconds ahead of the cars who are chasing him in Francis and Deagle. And Deagle Killer is not having it all his own way at the moment. He is not picking up maximum points and he will not make it 3 from 3 in 2019 as things currently stand. Expert and Cherry Tupai are battling. Expert's got past Cherry Tupai, but Cherry Tupai doesn't look like he wants to give that place up any time soon. These two both pitted on the exact same lap and had the same age tyres. Cherry Tupai is going for a late manoeuvre up the inside as Expert goes wide. He's got it done. Opportunistic manoeuvre. Expert though isn't going to give it up easy, but Cherry Tupai's got that place done. Is that wise though? They're going to be heading down into Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane very shortly, and Expert, if he gets a good enough run, could well find himself onto the rear end of that car. Oh, and Expert's gone! I was just mentioning it, and Expert has gone into the wall. He's hung it around too late. He's just got him too wide there, and Expert has ended and crashed it into a wall, and that is not great from him. He would have been hoping for some good points here after a great start and battling with Cherry Tupai. He's out of this Grand Prix, and that leaves us with just 12 runners in this Grand Prix, so some big DNFs and crashes from the drivers, and Expert is out of that Grand Prix. He's lucky to ride on board with that there. So that is not great from him. Deagle Killer is the man we're going to watch now as he's going to head up Eau Rouge following that slipstream of the Williams. Can he get past him? Francis and Deagle have been battling well, but it looks like Deagle Killer's coming to his own on these tyres. Slipstreaming and DRS. Francis is going to defend that line. Deagle Killer doesn't have enough drag, it seems, to get past Francis, unless Francis is moving all over on his screen with lag. We did see some lag with Francis earlier, so interesting to see what happened. But I think we're going to hear from Will or somebody. Hopefully someone will let us know what's happened to them in the chat. And I think Will is watching live. Leclerc I know was, and so was Casper, but Casper and Leclerc are still both watching a racing at the moment, so that is not ideal from Expert. I feel bad for Will. He was having a really good race and a good battle with Cherry Tupai, who is in pretty much no man's land at the moment. Deagle Killer and Francis are the ones who are going to have to keep us entertained as things currently stand until Casper and Onyx come into the pits. Francis now defending quite well and valiantly. Yellow flags in sector 2. That is Cherry Tupai, who has spun it round, so he's joining the club of cars that can't keep it on track. He has spun out and he has lost control, and there goes Leclerc up his inside, and Leclerc has got past him for P7, so we've got a little battle forming between these two as well. Back on board with the battle for second place. In the next second place, we should say, Francis and Deagle Killer, who are pretty much a half seconds back relatively, so he hasn't really got much of a chance to get involved in this battle unless it's contact or another safety car, a full safety car we should say this time. Francis defending quite well at the moment, attacking well and defending with bravery, and that's something you need to have when you're racing with these top dogs. A lot of mistakes have happened today, but a lot of clean and competitive racing as well. Carbon fiber on the right hand side of that runoff area. Deagle Killer with a great line. Can Francis defend? Is he going to defend the inside line? He's going to make Deagle go the long way around. Deagle's got the slipstream. Is he going to go for a late lunge? He doesn't. He now just pulls it up the inside, tries to think about it and backs out of it there. But Francis now has pushed him. Deagle Killer has almost lost the rear end, and it was a little bit of a lag spike there, and that was a heart and mouth moment for the championship leader. He will not be happy if he is experiencing this. If it's us on the stream, then that's fine, but if he's experiencing that there first person, he's going to be absolutely furious that Francis is being allowed to continue with these issues. Cherry Tupai is chasing down Leclerc at the moment. The Ferrari driver is doing a good job considering the incidents he was involved with earlier. The highest he can expect now is P7. Cherry Tupai is going to have to try and get back past him, but he has got Cliffy behind him, who is on, relatively speaking, pretty old tyres, but still can be a bit of a danger. The last point scorer as things stand is Pitmat. He's in no man's land as well, so the battle for 7th between Cherry Tupai, Leclerc and Cliffy could be on very shortly, but the battle for the lead, Deagle Killer and battle for second, Deagle Killer and Francis, it's kind of been scuppered a little bit because of that lag spike that has cost Deagle Killer so dearly when it comes to time. We'll ride on board at Cherry Tupai, who's hunting down the Ferrari of Leclerc as we speak. Heading into Blanchimont now, under the Fanatec sign. Cherry Tupai is chasing down that Leclerc where he made a mistake earlier on, and that's why he's down there. Marquis has got past Onyx, who's made the jump and come into the pits. Casper could be making that decision very, very shortly as well, but Cherry Tupai is coming in. Where's Onyx going to be coming out? Let's have a look at Onyx, shall we? Rejoining pretty safely at the moment, and if he comes out just behind Cliffy, which he may well do, in fact he might come out ahead of Cliffy at this rate. I think he is. He's come out behind this battle between Cherry Tupai and Leclerc, in between that gap, so we have a lovely little battle here, because Onyx will be on fresh super soft tyres, which makes you think where Casper's going to be coming out probably around about just ahead of these guys and could put on a little push from Marquis the way he's going. A really consistent drive from Casper, up there for driver of the day as things currently stand. All eyes on Onyx, who is going to be chasing down these two ahead of him at the moment. Cherry 2 Pie is really not showing that much pace. Leclerc making a little mistake there, getting onto the dirt, muddying up them tyres. That's not ideal. You want to keep it nice and clean and nice and safe and sturdy, but Leclerc is an experienced driver, so too is Cherry 2 Pie, both racing in Formula 2 of AOR, so they both know what's needed to be done to them if they want to win this ramp, pick up the advantage on the other guy. They're both very clean and competitive drivers, and we'll keep an eye on what they're able to do. You can see in the background there the Force India is getting into shot, and so too is Cliffy of the Renault. So things are starting to get a little bit tense in the cockpits on lap 15 of 22. We're coming into the final stage of this Grand Prix. There's still plenty of laps to go. Lap 16 has now been started by Epic Gamer. The cockpit cam runner has done a great job, especially to get ahead of the Eagle Killer. Casper hasn't come into the pits. He's still going, which is quite surprising, really, considering Onyx is pitted. But the longer he goes, the more advantage you'll have, because these medium tyres, as we've experienced earlier with the likes of Best Bob, aren't the greatest when it comes to long-lasting longevity. H. Eagle has left the session. Shame for him. He had so much potential in this race as well, but being involved in that incident. Same too for TTG Ollie. You don't want to go out on the first lap, but you know, it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Cherry 2 Pie hunting down the Ferrari. He's got Onyx behind him. Will we see Cliffy in the rear? Just a little glimpse of that Renault there, of Cliffy, and it's all getting a little bit tight between these guys. The Halo Cam getting in the way. Up the hill into Eau Rouge, now heading down the Kemmel Straight. It's going to be a tight one. I think Leclerc has got Cherry 2 Pie's number when it comes to the long straights, but Cherry 2 Pie looks to get closer through the middle section, through the cornering, where he seems to gain quite a significant amount of time. If Cherry 2 Pie can put in an incredible lap, maybe save some ERS and just push, he might have a chance of getting past Leclerc. It's all if, buts and maybes, of course, at the moment, as he tries to hunt down P6 from the Ferrari driver. He has to keep one eye on his shoulder, though. Onyx, who's picked up a 3-second time penalty there, is hunting him down. Cliffy looks to be out of this wobble. Cherry 2 Pie almost losing the rear end, which could now open up that manoeuvre for the Force India behind, who's very much closer. Cherry 2 Pie's dropping time to Leclerc, so he's starting to put a little bit too much pressure on them tyres, and that Force India behind on the super softs is now going to be feeling that he can have a run here. Lovely camera angle as you see that Force India hunting him down. The helicopter will be showing us some lovely angles, I hope, as these guys are now going to battle. Onyx is moving to the right hand side. Cherry 2 Pie cannot even defend as they head through Blanchimont. Force India's got it done before even they come up to the corner of even the bus stop chicane, but just one of the two left-handers, he got it done, and Cherry 2 Pie is a victim of the Force India's pace. He almost runs into the rear end of him there. Not ideal from him, and that is him pretty much, having to submit there to the much quicker and the strategically more sound Onyx, doing a great job in that Force India. His next target is the man ahead of him in Leclerc, and if Cherry 2 Pie is smart, he's going to follow Leclerc here, get that DRS, hook onto him, not go for the overtake, try and follow Onyx's slipstream when he can still get past Leclerc in this Grand Prix. But Cherry 2 Pie will be infuriated with himself because he made that mistake earlier on that has cost him and means he's down into P8 as things stand, and he believes he probably could be a bit higher than that with the way he was running earlier. You can see he's hooked onto the rear end of Onyx. If he can follow him through this middle section, he will get some dirty air, but if he hooks onto him and latches on like a joy clip, you could say, clipping onto him, just making sure we've got a good old bit of bondage onto that rear end, weld it on, and he can follow this Force India as they head through this middle section and maybe have potential of overtaking of Leclerc. But Onyx is going to be the man who's hunting him down rapidly at a rate of knots. Look at the gap between Deagle Killer and Francis. Deagle Killer is really dropping on pace, 3.6, and Francis has done a great job. Deagle just has no natural pace around here. Great qualifying pace with assistance from Tim Palm, but when it comes to race pace, seems to have dropped back a little bit. Onyx is now starting to gain. He's within that 1 second bracket to get close to Leclerc with DRS. Cherry 2 Pie is also within 1 second. If he can use this double toe to his advantage, he's not out of this when it comes to the battle for potential 6th. Onyx knows though that them super soft tyres are not going to last the entire way. Casper has come into the pits. Let's see where Casper is. He's in the box now. He could be close to Onyx here, and Leclerc's now coming through this bus stop chicane. Leclerc's dove into the pits, so Leclerc's come into the pits. Here comes Casper into turn 1. And Casper's got it done, and Onyx has not made that undercut work on Casper. There was a bit of a gap, but he hasn't gained dramatically. Francis has picked up a time penalty. That can be music to the ears of the Eagle Killer, who I believe himself has got some time penalties. But Casper is now going to hunt down Marquis potentially. Leclerc's into the pits. We knew he was coming into the pits early, but he'll be trying to target Apex and Pit Matt on a set of the soft compound tyres. He could drop in behind Apex here. They're going to go side by side potentially if a good run can come to Leclerc as they're heading up through Radion and Eau Rouge. Let's ride on board with him and see what he does. He has a good old run, but he has got cold tyres. He has to be careful. A 3-second time penalty that might get removed there. He has gained an advantage on Apex, maybe. He's going to go round the outside there. He does very well to hold onto the car and keep it safe and sturdy. And Apex is dropped into P11. Leclerc is into the points. Next up for him is his teammate, who's just over 2.5 seconds up the road. Marquis is already onto the rear end of the Eagle Killer, who is really struggling here. Deagle could be off the podium, and this could be dramatic for the championship, as Epic Gamer is relatively close to him, and this could be a little important swing. If Epic Gamer can get flying in the championship and in this race, he could be on for some big points here. Marquis is coming at him. It could be a double Williams podium, and the Red Bulls were helping each other out earlier, but there's no help for him here. Tim Palm cannot be seen. Who's going to come out on top? Deagle could have to defend bravely, but Marquis has got it done. The man on the soft compound tyres, it's showing on track soft compound, but he's on the mediums, has got past the Red Bull. And next up, just 3.5 seconds down the road, is Casper. And then Onyx, but Casper's probably the most likely one to catch him. 3.2 there, and the more these two battle between Marquis and Deagle Killer, the more likely Deagle could drop down another place into P5. A dramatic race so far. Deagle Killer is not having the ideal race he was hoping for. He's had it his own way at Hungary. It's him versus his teammate in a pretty flawless race. Here he comes though, slipstreaming the Williams of Marquis. He's going to have DRS available to him as well. He's maximising ERS. Who's going to come out on top? Marquis can't defend, and Deagle Killer is back ahead, but all this is doing is giving Casper a little bit of hope for a podium here round Spa-Francorchamps. Deagle Killer defending now the inside line. Can Marquis break late? He's going to go for it. They're going to go side by side. Who's going to come out on top? He's going to emerge ahead here. The Williams has been forced out there onto the dirt and onto the dirty part of the track, and Deagle Killer has got the place, but he's got a much better run there, Marquis. He is getting the better runs, and it looks like he could be on for an overtake on Deagle Killer, even going out at the exit of Pouon. Who's going to get the better run? It looks like Marquis has got it, but Deagle Killer is going to defend bravely, braking later round the outside. Surely not. He's hugging that rear wheel of the Red Bull. It turns to the inside line. Can he get it? No, he cannot. All this is doing is allowing Casper to get ever closer, and he is already right up the rear end of these two. And Deagle Killer's run wide. Deagle Killer has gone very wide and very lucky to not hit the wall, and he's overtaken. And here comes Casper emerging from the reckoning of that squabble, and Casper has got himself onto the podium. And Marquis has done a great job to get up to where he is, but he's now having to battle with Casper. He's switching left and right. Can he get a move on Casper here? You can see Deagle Killer's still feeling opportunistic, even though he backed out. He's going for the switchback. If Marquis can get a good run, he could have a chance. Heading up the Kemmel Straight, fastest lap from Casper. He's got two overtakes done in one lap in the most unopportunistic manoeuvre there. It looked like contact between Deagle Killer and Marquis there, and that's not great from Deagle Killer. He's actually maybe hindered Marquis as they're heading up through Radion and Eau Rouge now. Lap 20 of 22, coming up to the final few stages of this Grand Prix. Has Marquis got an opportunity to get onto the rear end of Casper? I think we're more likely to see Deagle Killer. Min Leclerc has gone fast as he's trying to hunt down Cliffy. Could still be on. Cherry Tupai is a little bit behind Onyx, so I don't think there'll be an opportunity for him. But look, Marquis is still keeping Casper keen, and so too is Deagle Killer on Marquis for 4th, 5th and 3rd. The final playing positions here. Francis is too far back from Epic Gamer, who looks to have wrapped up this Grand Prix. We'll look to see quickly who has gained the most positions here. 11 places gained for Onyx. Is up there for driver of the day. So too Casper. Deagle Killer with another time penalty. That could be hindrance for him. For me, driver of the day is up there with Epic Gamer. Look how far he's pulled away. He's definitely up there. But Onyx deserves a mention, Cliffy as well. But Casper, for me, I think the podium position, considering where he started, I think Casper, as things stand for me, is going to get driver of the day. I'm not sure. Here comes this beautiful camera angle. I absolutely love that camera angle as they head down. Once again, Marquis has pulled out on Deagle Killer, who's unable to gain on him here. So Expert has now left the session, but it's a big shame for him. But what a Grand Prix this has been. 21 of 22. Epic Gamer is well out ahead. He's going to be coming through these lovely forests for 2 more times now, heading up Eau Rouge. He needs to keep it clean and safe, and he's got this Grand Prix in the bag. It's been utterly flawless from him. France deserves an honourable mention for being overtaken by the championship leader, battling and getting involved, and still coming out with so much grace and dedication to keep battling here. Marquis will feel hard done by. He's done a great job to get past the Eagle Killer. Casper, though, with the strategy, for me, gets driver of the day, but definitely a nomination for driver of the day, at least for his efforts that he's put in this afternoon. It's been an interesting race. It's been very tight. The guys have been keeping things keen. They've been keeping it close, and Casper is still trying to hunt down Francis. He's got just under a lap and a half to go. You can see how far ahead Epic Gamer, though, is of all these guys. Any really close battles on track, Apex and Pitmat could be a close one. Leclerc caught up to Pitmat and got past him while all that was going on. He's trying to hunt down Cliffy. He's 1.6 seconds, so it can be done. Apex is onto Pitmat now. He's 1 second behind. It could be close, and he could have an opportunity. Cherry 2 picks up another time penalty there. A great race. Spa is up there for me as one of the best races. Some great side-by-side races and some great strategic calls, especially from Casper and Onyx. So on Sunday on LR, I dare say we'll be seeing a few of them strategies coming out. Apex is almost close enough to Pitmat to be able to take that final point off him, and Pitmat will not want to give that up by any stretch of the imagination. 0.7 of a second. Leclerc is all over Cliffy as well for P8. He could get it done out of P1 here. Let's see what he does. He gets a great run. Cliffy is not an ideal race. He's going to have that inside line potentially. Leclerc, he thinks better of it, and Cliffy has to just drop behind and accept that he's going to have to defend quite bravely through Blanchimont. Leclerc's getting keen behind him, up the inside maybe, and their battling continues between these two. Cliffy is going to have to defend this line as they're heading down into Blanchimont now. Slipstream will be available. No DRS, but ERS will be available. Let's see who's got more. Oh, by far it's Leclerc. He's going to be feeding this extra boost as they head downhill. They're on the final lap. Epic Gamer will keep on board with Leclerc and De Cliffy. We could see from the bus stop chicane a move here from Leclerc, but he has got another back straight to go. He thought better of it. He's kept it mature. Now with Apex onto Pitmat, he'll be gaining onto him as well, but I think it might just be a little bit too far back. But if he gets close enough, he could still challenge him. 0.7 of a second is merely nothing. Pitmat has come into the pits, so Pitmat's pitted on the last lap. Bizarre. Leclerc's got past Cliffy even before Bradion and Eau Rouge, so Apex is promoted up into the points. So that's a shame for Pitmat. I'm very curious to see why, unless he's borderline on a puncture. I would have just kept going though. If you're not going to score points, unless there's, I don't know, Cliffy's going to try and have a run back on Leclerc here. Let's see what he's able to do. He's unable to do it, but we're going to have to ride on board with Epic Gamer, who has had flawless, pretty much, you know, you couldn't describe it anything else than epic. He's coming through this beautiful Fanatic sign. The mist is setting here at Spa-Francorchamps. He's going to do Blanchimont one more time, and lap turns 19 and 20 of the bus stop chicane await him, and victory here in Belgium is going to be one of them races where everyone probably wanted the Eagle Killer around these parts to win it. The Dutchman is going to be a popular figure, but the Brit is going to come in here and spoil the parade. The Haas driver wins the Grand Prix. It's Epic Gamer with an epic performance who wins the Belgium Grand Prix. Congratulations to him. Another great drive, a second win of the season, and he has put himself definitely in the hunt for a contention and potential push for a championship battle. Francis in second deserves credit. Casper promotes himself up into P2. Casper got close to Francis, and for me gets driver of the day to get P2. Marquez comes across the line with Eagle Killer just a few metres behind him, but he gets 4th and 5th. Is Onyx going to get a jump potentially on Eagle Killer with all his penalties? He comes across the line. No, he does not. Cherry 2 finishes in P7. We've got a bit of a wait then to Leclerc. We're going to have a big old wait for Pitmat, who's decided to come into the pits. Here comes Leclerc. He crosses the line in P8. 3.4 seconds ahead of Cliffy, but he gets the place back, Cliffy, because of time penalties. Apex gets that final points playing position unless he has 16 plus seconds worth of time penalties, which I'm not too sure of. He might have quite a few, but I don't think he has that many. And now on board with the final man, he comes across the line. He made a last lap pit stop, Pitmat, and he decided to come in, and he will finish in P11. For some reason he decided that's what he wanted to do. And that is it then. Oh, Pitmat's been promoted to 10th. So Pitmat has been promoted even with Apex's penalties. So maybe he decided he knew. If he knew, then fair play to him. If he wasn't aware, then I would have to question his decisions. The podium celebrations are now underway for the Haas driver, who has won this in flawless style from Casper and Francis. Francis deserves an honourable mention for the fact that he has pushed this race and he has done a great job in pushing the Eagle Killer and co. But Casper is the driver of the day. For me, it will be up on social media shortly for you to choose who your driver of the day would be. We'll get the nominations up for you, but congratulations to the Haas driver. The Brit is on the top step of the podium once again here in Belgium. So your race classifications are as follows. It is Epic Gamer who wins the Belgian Grand Prix. He started second. Casper is in second. He started 12th. A huge drive from him with not a single time penalty. Francis in third. Marquis is in fourth. Fifth is the Eagle Killer. Onyx is in sixth. Cherry Tupai is in 7th. Cliffy is in 8th. Leclerc in 9th with 12 seconds worth of penalties. Pit Matt didn't get a single penalty. He is in 10th. 24 seconds worth of penalties was given to Apex, who is in 11th. Tim Palm is in 12th. Exprit is in 13th. Pit Matt is in 14th. Sorry, Best Bob in 14th, with Mark in 15th. 16th was Flores. 17th was Ollie. H Eagle was 18th with DNFs for Tim Palm. 2 H Eagle, all of them DNF. Tim Palm actually left the session and disconnected, but finished the Grand Prix, but gets P12. That is it then for the Virtual Racing Championship this week. I hope you have enjoyed. It's been some great side-by-side racing. We've seen some great action and some great drama. We will see you next time out as the final European Grand Prix of the calendar season takes us to the historic Monza circuit for the Italian Grand Prix. Thank you all very, very much for watching. We'll see you next week. Take care and good night.